Just for the record, I am taking, because of timing, I'm taking appointments first before public comment. And for the record, also, public comment is for items not on the agenda. However, for item number 13, we're going to have a public comment section, which is going to mirror a typical public comment platform. It'll be 15 minutes specific to that agenda item, and the same rules will apply. If more than five people want to speak, we'll limit it from 3 minutes to 2 minutes, and maximum of 15 minutes total. And Burlington residents will have preference in speaking on that item. So, just for clarification. So if you're here to speak on that item, you might not want to speak on public comment prior. That's up to you, though. Anyway, Chief.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Select Board, Mr. Denizio, Mr. Lawler. This will be fairly quick. Tonight we have 2 new appointments for firefighter position. We're very lucky this time. These 2 are both academy trained. One is a transfer in from Ware, Massachusetts. The other one came up from Florida. They're both academy trained. They'll do our 4-week orientation and they'll be ready to go. The first one I have for you, and I'll introduce both and you can have them up, is Mr. Joseph Tuminelli. Joe's a Woburn resident. He's academy trained firefighter 1-2. He's a paramedic. And for the last 4 years, he's been in the Ware Fire Department. Second one tonight is Mr. Robert Williamson. He's a Somerville resident now, Florida transplant. He's academy trained firefighter 1-2. He's a paramedic. He's currently working for Pro up here, Cataldo EMS up here. He has 4 years experience in the Polk County Fire and Rescue in Florida. So they're both academy trained. They're both going to come on and do our orientation, and they'll be ready to go to the shift manning in about a month or so. So, Mr. Denizio, I'd like to appoint Mr. Joseph Tuminelli and Mr. Robert Williamson, effective tomorrow if possible.
Do we have to do that one at a time? Or we can-
I'll do them one at a
All
time,
right.
yeah. Good to go?
Good to go.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Exciting news for us to be able to save that extra 10 to 12 and sometimes longer weeks before we can get a spot in the academy and then get someone actually in the academy. So this is great, and this is a change for us. We don't often times have some folks that are academy changed. So on the recommendation of Chief Brown, I'm appointing Joseph Tuminelli to the position of firefighter paramedic in the Burlington Fire Department effective June 23rd, 2026, and ask the board to waive their 15-day waiting period.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, 500.
Should I do the next and then?
Jimmy, John, do the next one, please.
On same preface applies. On the recommendation of Chief Brown, I am appointing Robert Williamson to the position of firefighter paramedic in the Burlington Fire Department effective June 23rd, 2026, and ask the board to waive their 15-day waiting period.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, 500.
Mr. Tuminelli first.
Yep. Go there.
Yep, write them up.
Joe, you want to come up?
Congratulations, welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard.
Congratulations.
You guys want to do a picture? Or?
You're
You're going to do it back there?
They're going to go sworn in next forward.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Thanks, sir.
Tom, civil engineer,
Thanks, Chief.
DPW.
Good evening. Tom Hayes, Town Engineer. I'm here with Ben Jetty. Ben is our pick for civil engineer. Ben has a master's degree in civil engineering. For the last 7 years, he's been teaching in the Chelsea school system. He's our best pick. We all agree that he would fit in well with the division, and here he is.
Mr. Denizio.
Thank you. On the recommendation of Mr. Hayes, I'm appointing Ben Jetty to the position of civil engineer in the engineering department of the Department of Public Works, the town of Burlington, effective Monday,
Monday.
June 29th, 2026, I ask the board to waive their 15-day waiting period.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 500. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
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 Thank you, yes.
Okay, next appointment, Youth and Family Services, David. What is it? Yes, Greg?
Yeah,
It's not public comment, we do appointments right now.
okay, but are you going to have like a citizens time?
Yes, that's coming next.
Okay.
There, David Langford from Burlington Youth and Family Services. Thank you, Board. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm here recommending the appointment of Samuel Monius to the position of social worker. Sam applied for this position, working in my department as a clinical intern, has demonstrated curiosity, reliability, dedication to the well-being of the Burlington community. He's got experiences in teaching, coaching, art, and somewhat unconventionally for a mental health counselor, construction. And all these have prepared him well for the task of providing for Burlington residents. Sam hopes with his hands. He's dedicated to being of service. He's collaborative, thoughtful, and skillful work makes me confident he'll be a valuable asset to the town of Burlington. Thank you for considering his appointment.
Mr. Denizio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On the recommendation of Mr. Langford, I'm appointing Sam Moniz to the position of social worker for the Youth and Family Services Department, effective June 23rd, 2026. I ask the board to waive their 15-day waiting period.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 500.
Thanks, Dave.
Congratulations and welcome.
Congratulations. Sorry for listening. Just beat my microphone up.
Okay. Just get the rules here. So, next item is public comment. Any person wishing to speak will be given 3 minutes time limit to address the board. If more than 5 individuals wish to speak, the time limit will be reduced to 2 minutes per speaker to ensure everyone has an opportunity to be heard. Time limits will be strictly enforced, and speakers must state their name and address for the record and are expected to address their comments to the board as individual members of the public, not as individual members of the public or staff. So, all right, Greg, you have to come and sign the paper?
Yeah.
Sign in?
Okay, yes.
I want to show of hands, Jim, how many people are going to speak, so you'll know if there's more than 5.
Greg, before you start, how many people want to speak at this version of, this session of public participation?
Okay,
Well, hold on, nobody, okay. All right, Greg.
okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Gregory A. Smith. I live at 22nd Avenue, apartment 503, and I used to formerly live at 36 College Road up until June 18th of 2018, when I moved to my new residence. The reason why I come forward is several issues. I'll try to be as brief as possible. On South Avenue, right by the AMC Theater, when you come up Middlesex Turnpike and you take that hard right, there's a mound of dirt and rocks that was left behind when they fixed a gas main break. And they just left a proverbial mess there. It needs to be scraped down and probably gridded off with some loam or topsoil and seeded. Another thing is the traffic control lights on Middlesex Turnpike. I think they should be better timed because during certain times of day, you have to wait quite an inordinate amount of time before the light changes again. So I wish somebody would get out there and evaluate those traffic control duration lights. Also, what was I going to say? There's one other thing. Also about issues of flooding. Sooner or later, there will be floods in Burlington. I do know in the past we've had some pretty bad floods, especially around the Sandy Brook area and then also in the north part of the town, but it's just a question of time before they once again reoccur. So that's pretty much all I have to say.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Anybody in the room for public participation? Yep. Oh, just sign your name and state your name and address.
I signed in,
Okay.
thank you. Hope I'm not breaking the rules, but we'll see. My name is Ann Sandstrom. I live at 18 Wildmere Avenue. I've lived in Burlington for 17 years. Tonight, I'm encouraged both by the fact that the ICE facility is on the agenda and by the interest shown by the local community. What goes on in that building does not reflect who we are. The Supremacy Clause might tie our local officials' hands for now, but it cannot silence our voices. I encourage all of us to keep speaking up for what is morally and constitutionally right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Anybody else in the room here for public participation, public comment? Okay, seeing none. Anybody online for public comment? Are you seeing it?
Mr. Chairman, those online should raise their hand if they...
Raise your hand if you're online and want to speak in this public participation session. All right, we good. I think someone in there.
We're good.
Well, we'll send you an unmute. Hold on.
The vertical video. They're raising their hand.
So we can see the name. With the other...
Yeah.
I'm Pam Boris. I live on the border of Woburn and Burlington. I know you have been trying to work on the ICE facility, but there has been no communication about what you've been doing, and I encourage you to be a better communicator.
All right, thank you. Anybody else online?
Joanne?
Joanne Frustacci.
Okay.
All set?
Hi, this is Joe. Can you hear me?
Yep.
This is Joanne Frustacci. Can't figure out how to turn the video on. I live in Burlington on 6 Valley Circle. I'm a Precinct 3 town meeting member, and I just want to say that the efforts that we're going to hear about later have resulted, I think, in congressional oversight of the ICE facility to an extent that the overcrowding that we used to see is no longer happening. And I did speak with Congressman Moulton's office just today to confirm this. There are very, very few people sleeping in Burlington. There are still distressing things happened. I did meet a man who was there for a night last month, and he did not eat. He was not fed neither lunch nor dinner, not any food until the following day. But other than that, there have been very seldom people sleeping there. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. Anybody else online that wishes to speak at this point? Nobody? Okay. Next item on the agenda, approval for the town hazardous mitigation plan. Mr. Denizio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hopefully you all got a chance to review the 235-page document, but it's obviously been going on for a long time. As you saw in the detailed memo from the chief, This project started quite some time ago. Last hazard mitigation plan we had approved by FEMA was from 2016, and then when it came up for renewal was during COVID. We were able to secure a grant way back from when Chief Patterson was here when this started, and then worked on it through that time with all the different departments and public input, and that's what resulted in that document that you have before you. That document is required for us to have been accepted by the Select Board before June 30th of this year so we can finish out our grant. And it is a requirement for many other FEMA or MEMA reimbursements or grants that you have one in place. So there's some very specific language that I shared that someone could read for a motion after. If anybody has any questions, the chief is here. But I know you're all well aware of what's been going on.
All right, go to Sarah.
No questions.
Joe?
Question.
Nick?
Just one. Sorry. I know that we do, our like regular flu clinic, and that gives the Board of Health the opportunity to do training. How often do we do hazard and disaster training mitigation?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As far as all interdepartmental, there isn't a lot that spread throughout the whole town, but it is a goal of Patrick and I's to reinstitute an actual assigned emergency management team that will meet regularly and potentially, hopefully, be able to do some sort of exercise at some point. That isn't. I don't want to scare you and think that there's no coordination going on. There is, those departments that need to talk on a regular basis do so, but we haven't here for a while had a coordinated team throughout the district encompassing all the departments.
Yeah. Trust me, I don't believe that we're not well prepared.
Yeah.
But that was exactly why I was asking.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Michael? Any questions? In that case, I know we have a motion, a very specific motion.
It's long.
Yep.
Didn't know it was this long. I volunteered. Here we go. Whereas the Select Board recognizes the threat that natural hazards pose to people and property within the town of Burlington, and whereas the town of Burlington has prepared a multi-hazard mitigation plan, hereby known as the Town of Burlington 2025, is that correct? 2025?
Yes.
Mitigation Plan Update in accordance with federal laws, including the Robert T. Stafford Disaster Relief and Emergency Assistance Act as amended, the National Flood Insurance Act of 1968 as amended, and the National Dam Safety Program Act as amended. And whereas the Town of Burlington 2025 Hazard Mitigation Plan Update identifies mitigation goals and actions to reduce or eliminate long-term risk to people and property in the Town of Burlington from the impacts of future hazards and disasters. And whereas the Select Board authorizes departments to execute their responsibilities demonstrated in the 2025 Hazard Mitigation Plan Update. And whereas adoption by the Select Board demonstrates its commitment to hazard mitigation and achieving the goals outlined in the Town of Burlington 2025 Hazard Mitigation Plan Update, now therefore be it resolved that in accordance with MGL 44 or the Charter and Bylaws of the Town of Burlington, the Select Board adopts the Town of Burlington 2025 Hazard Mitigation Plan Update. While content related to the Town of Burlington may require revisions to meet the plan approval requirements, changes occurring after adoption will not require the Town of Burlington to re-adopt any further iterations of the plan. Subsequent plan updates following the approval period for this plan will require separate adoption resolutions.
So I want to second that, but before I do, the plan does say 2026 on it. Does that matter?
It's the FEMA name.
It's the FEMA name. Okay. Then I second it. Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 500. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, next item on the agenda is a proclamation and approval of recreation. Brendan and Kelly.
Thank you, Brendan Egan, Director of Parks and Recreation. We've asked the Select Board to, the Recreation Commission has proclaimed July Parks and Recreation Month, but we'd also like the Select Board to proclaim the month Parks and Recreation Month as well. This has been going on for 42 years, I believe, and this year the theme is Power Of. It is something that we'd ask the Select Board to proclaim the month of July as Parks and Recreation Month.
Why don't we start with that one? Before we read the proclamation, Joe, any questions? Sarah?
No questions. I just want to sing the praises of our Parks and Rec department. It's one of the best things about Burlington, honestly, and I hear that over and over. I was at several baseball games this weekend over at Simons Park and was talking to some of the staff over there who were maintaining the fields in between and putting in the hours and really making it look great for the kids. So appreciate all the work that Parks and Rec does for the town.
Thank you. We're very fortunate with the staff we have, both in the program and maintenance side, to be able to do everything we do.
Nick?
I just want to echo Sarah's sentiments and my appreciation. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Michael, just comments at this point.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I want to also echo Sarah and Nick's comments, Brendan and Kelly. Thank you for all you do and your team. I think we have one of the best parks and recreation departments in the Commonwealth with the myriad of programs and activities we have for all ages in town. It's awesome. And I see that guide that come out every quarter, and I'm just so amazed at all the things we offer and all the stuff we are on the therapeutic end too, which is great. So thank you for all you do. It's appreciated, and it's one of those things also that makes me proud to be from this town. So thank you to you and your team. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I just want to echo the previous comments because growing up in this town as a little kid and seeing what the rec department is now, it flourished. It just grows every time you open up the brochure. It's just more and more added. So kudos to you. Kelly, I know you're shy back there. I was trying to get you to come up, but you just keep this town happy with everything you do, the maintenance part, the activity part. And do you want to chime in, John?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Those sentiments are echoed throughout the state, too. 2 years ago, I had an opportunity to go to the award ceremony when Brendan was receiving a statewide award, and then this year, Patrick had a chance to go when Kelly and several other staff members were receiving awards. So it's not just us that thinks they're great. It's the whole state.
Okay, so does someone want to read a proclamation for our award-winning recreation department?
I will read it, Mr. Chairman, with pleasure. Whereas Parks and Recreation is an integral part of communities throughout this country, including Burlington Parks and Recreation, and whereas Parks and Recreation promotes health and wellness, improving the physical and mental health of people who live near parks, and whereas Parks and Recreation promotes time spent in nature, which positively impacts mental health by increasing cognitive performance and well-being and alleviating illnesses such as depression, attention deficit disorders, and Alzheimer's. And whereas Parks and Recreation encourages physical activities by providing space for popular sports, hiking trails, swimming pools, and many other activities designed to promote active lifestyles. And whereas Parks and Recreation is a leading provider of healthy meals, nutrition services, and education. And whereas Parks and Recreation programming and education activities, such as out-of-school time programming, youth sports, and environmental education are critical to childhood development. And whereas Parks and Recreation increases a community's economic prosperity through increased property values, expansion of the local tax base, increased tourism, and the attraction and retention of businesses and crime reduction. And whereas Parks and Recreation is fundamental to the environmental well-being of our community. And whereas Parks and Recreation is essential and adaptable infrastructure that makes our communities resilient in the face of natural disasters and climate change. And whereas our parks and natural recreation areas ensure the ecological beauty of our community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature and recreate outdoors. And whereas the U.S. House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recreation Month. And whereas Burlington, Massachusetts recognizes the benefits derived from park and recreation resources. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Burlington Select Board that July is recognized as Park and Recreation Month here in the town of Burlington, Massachusetts.
Okay, does that need, that doesn't require a vote, does it? Bud?
Yeah, I think we usually vote on proclamation.
All right, so I'll take that as the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's moving to second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, 500. Congratulations, Brendan.
Thank you. And I just want to mention, we do have a wonderful staff that makes Kelly and I look good. They're very hard workers and, are always looking to improve. But we are very fortunate to have a great foundation set before Kelly and I started with Dom Roberts and Bill Boudreau. So we're just hoping to build off of that and continue to provide top quality programs and improve our parks and facilities.
Thank you.
Next item, Brendan, we always like getting donations, so this is an awesome one, so take it away.
Yes, thank you. We recently had a phone call conversation with Kevin Sullivan, and Kevin made a very generous donation in the amount of $25,000 from his family to the town of Burlington to be used for the annual tree lighting fireworks for years to come. So I worked with John, and the Select Board is the official acceptor of funds and donations. So the Sullivan family would like this money set aside to be used for fireworks for the annual tree lighting each year.
Thank you. Before we take a vote, Nick?
Ever they be so humble, truly. The Sullivan family gives and wants nothing in return. And I cannot thank them enough on behalf of myself and the residents of Burlington for donating $25,000 to the tree lighting. That is just a wonderful, wonderful gift, truly. So thank you to them for such a wonderful donation.
Thank you, Nick. Mike?
Yeah, thank you to the Sullivans for an awesome donation. Another one of the many things that makes the town great is our wonderful residents, so very much appreciated. Thank you to them.
Sarah?
I will echo everybody else and say thank you so much to Kevin and Karen Sullivan for this amazing donation. It's really just above and beyond, and they've given a lot in terms of their service to the community in many other ways. This is just another way that they've given back to Burlington, so really appreciate it. Thank you.
Joe?
What else to be said? Everyone said everything, so it's good. It's good. Sullivan, Kevin, his wife, are unbelievable.
Yep,
Really are. They're incredible people.
I've known Kevin and Karen since we were kids. Janet, his sister, does People Helping People. Kevin, how many years was Kevin on the Recreation Commission?
I was just going to mention that Kevin also served as a recreation commissioner 23 years, and did so very happily, and was a great resource for us and a great partner as we work on Parks and Recreation in Burlington.
We wouldn't have such a great town without great people living in it. Thank you, Brendan. I'll be looking for a motion to accept the donation.
Make a motion to accept money.
Second.
Moved and
Say
seconded.
second fast.
Right?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained. 500 to accept $25,000.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Brendan.
All right, presentation and appointments, boards and committees. We're going to break this into two sections. Boards and committees, interest application. Patrick, we're going to go to you with Laura. Laura, you want to come up?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I hope I don't make too many people seasick here as we share some of our website. So we don't actually have a presentation, but more of a walking folks through some of efforts that we've been making that are in the works right now. So our goal for the last, I'd say almost 12 months now, has been really to establish an easy-to-use, accessible online form to promote people to submit their interest in applying to serve on a board or a committee, which is obviously a very important governance element of our town. So we have a number of wonderful volunteers that use their expertise. They serve the town with their expertise on dozens of the boards and committees we have. But one of the things that we hear from folks is, how can I get involved more? Folks that might not be involved or new to town or been in town for a long time and they want to serve on a board or committee. And for some time now, that has not been the easiest, let's say, application process. So Laura developed a tool in our form center right on our website that, as I scroll, I'm going to ask Laura to walk through a little bit some of the goals of what we were trying to do here. And then we'll talk about two other elements of this. So.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Patrick, and thank you all for having me here today. So this form is meant to be super easy to fill out and encourage people of all different backgrounds, ages, genders to start volunteering for the town of Burlington, and to really show the types of outcomes that they can expect when they, fill out this form and then are able to apply their expertise in all their different areas of life to our town and, make it better for everyone involved. So we looked at at many surrounding towns to see what others are doing, as well as really thought about what our town would like to see and which boards and committees they would like to be appointed to. So this form just kind of gives them a little bit of an explanation as to what they can expect when they do volunteer for one of our boards or committees. It would actually live on both the boards and committees landing page as well as up at the top of our website. We want to make it super accessible for everyone to be able to quickly find and apply for. Once we also prepare feedback from everybody and see what you all have to say on it, we also intend to create a boards and committees marketing it out to the town and making sure that everyone's aware of this opportunity here. So, so the form, it just gives that little bit of background. And then Patrick, if you scroll down, actually scroll up a little bit, please, to a little bit more. Thank you. So where it says you'll receive a response by the town administrator's office, this is something that we talked to at length of, where we want to have that direct connection with other people in town, and we want them to know that we're here for them and that we are super grateful for their interest in volunteering for the town. So that's something that we've been preparing as well, which is just an email that would directly come from the town administrator's office acknowledging receipt of this form, and then directing them to all of the different types of resources we have. So our town website, Bring Me to Burlington as well, our newsletters, our social media, all of the different resources that we have when it comes to town government, BCAT's local government channel where you can watch what happens at some of these meetings. So it's just definitely something that we've put a lot of thought into and are really excited for.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. One of the elements of this is, we want to be able to accept interest all year round, so that folks maybe say, hey, I want to get involved. There may not be a vacancy on the board that they apply for. This allows us to sort of take their information, and if we do have a vacancy, we can maybe make a match for that person. A lot of times people may submit interest for a board or committee, and we may say, hey, we need a few seats filled on this committee over here, and your background really might lend itself to us. And so that's one of the elements here. And like Laura said, one of the experiences with a form like this is sometimes people fill it out. They feel like it just sort of goes into the ether, and they don't know if it's been received. They don't know if the connection has been made. So that's why we're developing this dialogue of two-way communication with folks through that touch point from the town administrator's office. That it's a little bit of a manual process, but I think it's a worthwhile process for us within the first 24, 48 hours to make that connection. And whether it's someone who's lived here for 5 days or 50 years, provide them the resources they may not know about for how to stay connected with the town. And so this is a start of what we see as a work in progress that'll be continuously evolving. So as our board and committee page begins to expand, we have a part of our website that can't get to it. More information about getting involved, sort of a landing page here. That is a resource for residents that may want to understand Burlington's organization from a governance perspective. They may want to, their current board or committee member, make sure that they're following the open meeting law, conflict of interest laws, and really be a resource to anybody who is already involved or who may want to be involved. And the other element here is just to be able to make awareness of where vacancies exist, so another improvement in sort of our appointment process. And we are grateful to the moderator and his partnership at this. So this form will have all boards and committees, whether they're appointed by the select board or appointed by the town moderator, and we'll be sharing that resource with the moderator. So again, the idea here is a comprehensive tool to get folks involved in volunteering for the town and sharing their skills and talents with us.
Thank you, Patrick. All right. Anything else further? If not, Sarah, any questions?
No, I have a lot to say on this. Thank you so much, Laura and Patrick, for putting this together. This is something I've been talking about since before I was on this board. And honestly, it was probably one of the first conversations I had with Patrick when he started, and one of the first conversations I had with Laura when she started, is making it easier to know what boards and committees are out there, to know what they do, to volunteer. I mean, if anybody knows the process now, I don't even know the process now. It's a PDF on the website to apply. It's not someone that you can fill out manually. You have to print it off. You have to fill it out, bring it to the town clerk's office, or submit it to town moderator or select board. It's so it's cumbersome, and it's so outdated, and just drives me crazy. It's also, I feel like there's you kind of have to know somebody in town to know where the vacancies are. You have to, somebody has on a certain committee has to say, oh, I have this friend who would be good. The process is extremely cumbersome, flawed as it is now. So this is step one in the process of making it more transparent, more open, more inclusive, and getting more people involved. So thank you both for your work on this. I am so excited about it. Burlington is full of amazing and talented and intelligent people. And, you know, I'm sick of hearing people saying there's a lack of volunteerism out there. There's not. People want to do things. They just don't know what's out there if it's not known to them. So really love pulling in more people to the circle. And believe me, I love the same faces that we see all the time. I love the people who volunteer all the time. But we need more people getting involved and, you know, fresh faces in our town government and to our committees. So thank you. My only question, and I think, Patrick, you just answered it, was how people know where the vacancies are.
Yes, so that's step 2 of this. So what we're going to have on that board and committees page is almost like a second column that shows all the vacancies. So you'll be able to see on the same page what these committees do and any vacancies, so that if you're on that page and you say that interests me, you can see if there's a vacancy on it. So the board and committee page that exists right now will have sort of a as up-to-date as possible vacancy sort of report. And so where that will live is on our website. There's a menu of actions you can take. In the I Want To tab, we'll have I want to apply to serve on a board or a committee or learn more about board and committees. So it'll be directly off of our homepage there. So at the same time that you have information, you'll be able to know in real time where vacancies occur. And then there may be situations where we have board and committee vacancies throughout the year. Some boards that have, you know, quasi-adjudicatory roles have to have a certain amount of members on them at all times. So there may be a situation where we are pushing out in December or in March where we need to fill a position, and then we'll leverage Laura's communications efforts there. So.
Okay. And I was also just going to say, on our end internally, it's going to take a lot of discussion with these boards and committees themselves as well, so that we can identify those vacancies in advance and make sure that we're communicating those. So, yeah.
Great. And I guess maybe step 3 is taking another step in the process is what happens when the application goes in, other than they get a notification, probably goes into some Google Share Drive, Excel sheet or something, and then how do we get the process in place where, you know, it's consistent across how the select board handles it and the town moderator? I know that it's different how we handle things, but, and it's also different across committees how things can be handled sometimes, but sort of getting a process in place that is consistent and transparent, and that people are notified if they did or didn't get on the committee, that kind of thing. And then, you know, that also gives us a chance to create a database of resources of people that are out there, and maybe that we can actively reach out to people if there is an opening and they have expressed interest in something. So anyway, that's all I will say on that. Thank you again. Very excited to see where this leads.
Thank you, Sarah. Nick?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll do my best not to reiterate what Sarah just said, because I agree with the majority of her points. I still contend that there is a problem with volunteerism and a lack of it, but what I will concede on is that we are now creating actions to open up access, to make the barriers less, and hopefully people who do have some level of interest will find it easier. To that point, when we did a quick scroll there, and that was kind of like my first time seeing it, the form seems a little long, a lot of open-ended fields. So my ask is twofold. One, will we have an opportunity to look at it? And 2, look at it again and maybe try and get a couple of those open form fields off of there if they're not necessary, right? If there are things that we can ask them after the fact, or, you know, maybe combine 2 boxes into one. Like whenever you're asking somebody to fill out a form online, right? Unless it's like for like a really big ask, like I'm buying something, therefore you need all this information. Reducing that barrier to entry by having the form being as minimal as possible while still getting the information we need, it will be great. Also, too, there might be an opportunity for us to post the vacancies kind of like jobs that just link to the form. That way, it's like, oh yeah, I am interested in that. Let me go apply to it, right? So just some other possible avenues there.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's great about this is, as Sarah said, right now this lives as a PDF document, and so it's never updated, right? So this can constantly be updated and tweaked, and finding the right combination of simplicity while also getting the right information from folks that might be a little bit more than an application, so that we can understand who these folks are. And in
case you didn't know who Nick was. That's Nick.
Essentially striking the right balance of gathering information that'll be helpful to us in making appointments, as well as making it simple. So absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. This is great.
Joe?
Yeah, thank you. I'll make sure that's okay now. Everything's good. Now you know who Nick is. So listen, technology is not my thing, so this is wonderful. Because someone like me that doesn't even know half the stuff you said about Google this and everything else, I don't want to know. I don't care. I think it's great for the town. I think that people want to get involved with it. I'm just too old school. I don't want to learn it. I have nothing. But I think what you did was absolutely fantastic. I think there's enough young people in the town that really, really want to get on board. And I think there's a bunch of older people that aren't like me that do want to learn all that kind of stuff. So I think it's fantastic. I think you guys did a great job on it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Laura, for all of your efforts thus far. You've been awesome, and you've jumped right in, and you're making a difference. So we appreciate it, and thank you. Sarah took my question as usual, so that was the answer. I just want to say this is a great idea, and anything we can do to make it easier for people to volunteer is a good thing. And hopefully, this will spur more interest and involvement. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mike. You're going to start walking away from me because every time I see you, hey,
There's
Laura,
another thing, right?
I got an idea, Laura. This is good for you. I love that we're being proactive instead of reactive. Is there a way of, I don't say, focusing on new residents to when they come in, like, that maybe we could let them know that they, what their town government is? Because a lot of new people, it takes a couple of years to get involved. Maybe focus on new people, new residents, so to speak, because they just might not know. Like you said, and one way of letting them know is, are we going to use the message board for that, for something like this?
Yes, I absolutely think once we get to completion phase and we're ready to have people fill out the form and start doing that, we'll want to have a whole campaign surrounding getting people to volunteer on their boards and committees. So, yeah.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, I know that a new resident handbook does exist, monitored by the town clerk's office. Isn't there a new resident? The town clerk's shaking her head no. Isn't there a new resident handbook?
Never heard of that.
Wait, you're disagreeing with the town clerk?
I am.
Oh.
All right, I'm going to take this offline with the town clerk, and I'll follow back up, because I'm like 80% sure a new resident handbook exists, and if we could, we would update it online for links that would link to this, and that way it would kind of help get the new residents engaged.
I have a quick follow-up, and I don't know if we're crossing paths in the wrong direction, but we were just talking about the rec department's brochure that everybody reads it. Is there a way of getting this into that brochure?
Yes, so the idea with this, when someone submits an application for interest in something like this, the sort of touch point email that they're going to get is going to have lots of information in a very organized way. So they're going to be able to sign up for the recreation newsletter. They're going to be able to sign up for the Council on Aging newsletter, library information. So all of that, sort of what we call community resources, will be connected to that. And to your first point, I think that one of the things that we've talked about in connection with this, but a little bit on a different path, is that sort of new resident welcome kit, and how to accomplish that in a sustainable way. So I've seen it done a couple of different ways. I've seen it done with a couple of different partnerships, and so it's something that we're talking about and thinking about how best we can accomplish that in the appropriate scale. So,
Anybody got anything further? This doesn't require approval, does it?
Nope, just an update. Thank you.
Okay, next I'll go to John. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Thanks, Laura.
John, annual appointments.
Thank you. Hopefully you were able to see in your backup the list of appointments and the actions for each. There was a list of all of the different boards and commissions. So in committees, typically at our last meeting in June, we do the renewals, the annual renewals for all of the boards that flow up through the town administration and select board. So what we tried to do was make it a little easier to list all of the boards, the folks that hold positions, when they're expired, and then the action for each of them to make it easier to approve as submitted, because someone's name will be there and the action will either be renewal appointment, new appointment, or no action. What might make it a little confusing as you look at the backup is there's several committees that don't have anything listed, and that's just, we haven't been able yet to finalize membership expiration dates, so we may have to come back with those. And then there's some that are at the end, that there's a hard line, and then there's 3 that are below that are just either committees that are defunct or there hasn't been any action taken on them in quite some time. So that's for a different conversation past tonight. But what we hope that, the tool that Patrick and Laura are using are going to be great for recruitment, but it will also be good for us for the renewal process. Right now, the renewal process is the chair kind of weighs in. Everybody wants to get reappointed. There isn't really much anything beyond that, any review beyond that. So at the very least, we could have a renewal form that's filled out by the person about, why they want to be renewed or whatever. So that will hopefully be live as soon as the renewal, as soon as the final form is live for the recruitment part. So a long way of saying many times in June, we've pushed this off to the July meeting. It isn't something that has to be done right now, other than a few committees that it could cause a problem with votes. So I don't know what the will of the board is.
I have a question for you. Could we take a one vote to reappoint all those who expire June 30th, 2026, as submitted?
Yeah, that's the idea, of everybody that's listed as renewal appointment, that we could approve
And we address
those.
the others as they come in. All right, I'll start with Mike on this one. Any questions?
No questions, Mr. Chair.
Joe?
Malta's right ahead.
Nick?
Yeah, beyond cleaning up the boards, the committees that aren't really doing a whole lot or just haven't been in existence, and going through that review process, I'm fine with appointing folks now so that there's no issue with term expiration, because I don't want members of committees operating, in capacity that they shouldn't be. And then we could address the other ones as they come up. That's fine.
Mr. Chair, if I may, and the hope is that there are some that haven't been operating, but maybe that was because of people didn't know that the committee existed, or we just haven't publicized that committee exists for that. So maybe that will boost.
Sarah?
Yes, I did have a question. For those who are renewing as of 6/30/26, you mentioned that the chair was contacted and they said that the person wanted to be renewed. I just want to confirm that these people have been asked if they actually want to be renewed.
Well, from what I've told, the chair has indicated the person wants to be removed. I can't guarantee that the chair asked that they wanted to be renewed.
Okay.
We can do 2 things. We can put it off till July, but I don't want to cause anybody a voting issue.
Right.
We could renew everybody and then contact them and say,
Yeah.
you've been renewed, please let us know if you don't want to.
Something with the vote that we renew everybody on the list whose term expires 6/30/26, pending their confirmation that that's what they want.
Sure. That'd work.
I'm okay with that.
All right, so does anybody want to make a motion, or make a motion to approve all those who expired June 30th, 2026?
Sure, I'll make a motion to approve all of these committee appointments where the term expires 6/30/2026 to a new term, pending their confirmation that that is what they want.
Okay, moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 500. Thank you, John. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, next item, approval, DPW gate box replacement. Anthony?
Hello.
Hello. Hey, Anthony.
Thank you for having me. So DPW is asking to work through the night again. Water and sewer has noticed an uptick in water breaks in the area that I highlighted off of the businesses off of Wynn Street, and we've isolated some broken water gates, which creates the water shutdown during breaks much larger. So replacing these gates will help us to isolate more people to keep them backfed when water breaks do happen. The plan is to have 2 of them replaced tomorrow night, pending this meeting, and the 3rd gate be replaced Thursday night. Give the guys a break in between the night work to reset, restock the trucks, kind of regroup. So we're looking to do these 2 nights this week, pending your guys' approval.
Joe?
I think it's a no-brainer. I really do. I mean, it's at nighttime, it's for effective people at nighttime after they get out of work or whatever, but it's better than doing it during the day when all businesses are open, not that the residents, but there's from the Burlington line all the way up to the highway, there's a lot of businesses there that it could affect, and those businesses are paying, well, we all pay a lot of money in taxes, but the commercial rate's a lot more. Well, those people are going to be affected too if they have to shut down with the nail salons and the hairdressers and all those kind of people. And I think that the residents would be more. What time of night are we talking?
Domino's closes at 1, so I think they're on the Thursday night. So after 1 on...
1 a.m.?
Uh-huh. We're talking with them. They're willing to be a little bit more flexible with us to try to, so we're not pushing towards the daytime. But at the very latest, that second night will be water off 1 a.m. And then we're hoping...
Yeah. I'm sure there's not a lot of water use after 1 a.m., but... Sarah?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And so it's 1 a.m. to, what are you thinking?
Water back on by, we're hoping 5:30. The plan is to dig during the day, block off the areas, get all the material removed, plate it, and then at night, once we can turn the water off, we're right there. We can cut, reinstall, and get it going again.
Okay, I mean, obviously this has to be done. There is a lot of water issues in that area.
Yes.
I'm experiencing myself, I'm over there. So I support this work. I'm a little nervous about the tight turnaround and letting people know. This is happening tomorrow night.
We've already been...
You've already been notifying people?
Yes.
Okay, great. I haven't been notified, but that's because I'm not on the list. I'm not in...
You're not in the area.
map.
Okay.
So, okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, we've been out all last week and the week before, sending out flyers, letting everyone know. And we've been out talking with the businesses, letting them know that when are you closing, so that we can do it after they're done with their work. And, because they close at a certain time, but then there's usually half hour to an hour of cleanup where they need a reset for the next day.
Water. And you're thinking 2 nights
Yep.
for the water shutdown aspect of it?
Yep.
Okay, and I know there's currently a lot of work going on over there. How is that going? How is that acting?
The sidewalks should be done soon. We're coming in ahead of the road paving, and we're going to have the water gates close enough to Wynn Street that the paving will incorporate it, so you won't see new pavement with like a patch further into the road.
Okay, so the timing kind of works out with the paving?
Yeah, we want to do it ahead of the paving because with the vibrations and the grinders, it could potentially cause, I'm not going to say it, but having the ability to isolate more people to have water, especially during the day, is well worth it.
Okay. Perfect. I have no other questions. Thank you, Anthony.
Michael?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I'm in favor of this, Anthony. Just one quick question. I have noticed a proliferation of water main breaks lately. Do we know the reason why, and are we going to be seeing this in other parts of town, or is it just centralized to this area? What's been happening?
In this particular area, the distribution system is on the older side. It's an older part of town. The way that the house services are tied into the mains gets old. It's in dirt for 50, 60 years.
Yep.
Just fails. There was actually one on the corner of Windmere where they were doing the sidewalks, and the sidewalk guys didn't touch the service. It was 4 feet down, but just the vibrations of being in the area caused a break.
Okay. Great. Okay. So just older
yeah,
equipment types. Okay. Thanks, Anthony.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all I had.
I thought it might have been that meteorite that shook everybody's house a couple of weeks ago. No, I'm only kidding. No, this has to be done 2 nights. I'm surprised you can get it done that quickly, but that's great. You can get it done in 2 nights. Therefore, I'll be looking for a motion to approve the night work.
But Nick is, name tags up.
What's that?
You can let Nick talk.
See, you moved the signs around. You forgot I was.
Oh, I didn't let Nick, that's right. Nick, I'm sorry.
I actually have no questions. This is a no.
Not really?
Yeah, I know.
Whoa.
Sarah and Mike asked all the questions I had.
Take a memo on that?
Yeah, note the
Sorry,
date
Nick.
and time.
I think the paperwork was just so thorough.
It was very well done.
It is, it's very detailed. That helps. Believe it or not, good backup reduces the questions.
Well,
because
Brian
the answers-
let me fly solo, so I wanted to make sure it was done right.
Okay, then, that being said, I'll be looking for a motion to approve the gate box replacement night work.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 5-0-0. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Steve. I know you're back there, too.
Thank you.
Okay. Approval, road closure, Fox Hill Road. Mr. Denizio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm not sure if there's anybody from the project team here because I did let them know that this wasn't under the Select Board's purview. Hopefully, you all got my note on that. This actually where the road closure is going to happen is on school property. But if they were here, I was just going to give them an opportunity to tell you a little bit what's going to be happening. But you were able to see in the backup the spots where the closure was going to happen. The dates haven't been finalized yet. I don't see anybody's hand up, so that's, like I said, I did tell them that it wasn't, that wouldn't be on for a board board vote, but if they showed up, we'd
So this doesn't require approval? Okay.
If anybody has any comments you'd like me to get back to
Nicholas, you
them,
any
happy to
comment
do
on
that.
I would assume, but are the residents being notified that there's going to be, that is going to be closed?
Correct, yeah, and there'll be, because it's going to be detours in place, there'll be police presence too.
Okay. And then, forgive me, because I don't remember the dates.
They haven't finalized them yet.
Okay. I just didn't know if, administration or custodial staff were going to need to be up there, if that was going to cause an issue at all.
No, they'll be able to get in. They'll have path, because they still got to get to the project to do the work too,
Right.
so.
Okay.
They'll still be able to access, and, our final approval will come from, engineering will allow the road opening to happen, and police will finalize the detour path.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No issues. It's summertime, so we should be able to take care of it.
Sarah?
No questions.
Joe?
Oh, thank you.
No, I got no questions either. That being said, I'll be not looking for an approval because it's not under our authority.
It's good to know, though.
Thanks for the update. Okay, approval, AMC Theaters.
I'm not sure if James is here.
Yep.
There he is.
Mr. McKeegan. Am I pronouncing Meekin?
Yes, James McMeekin, the general manager at the AMC Burlington 10. Thank you guys for having me tonight. I am asking to extend our operating hours from 1 a.m. until 2 a.m. For July 17th through the 26th, and then also for July 31st through August 9th. We have two big releases that start the 17th and the 31st. The first one is The Odyssey. It has an exceptionally long run time of 2 hours and 52 minutes. It's Christopher Nolan's second longest movie. And then the 31st is when the new Spider-Man Brand New Day releases. It's also a fairly long movie at 2 hours and 30 minutes, and it's also expected to be our biggest movie of the summer. So we were hoping to extend our hours so we'd be able to add some more shows in the evenings when our attendance required it.
Sarah?
No questions? I'm sorry, no questions, only because we've done this, we do this pretty much every summer
Yeah.
for all these big blockbusters.
Yeah,
movies.
our bar operating hours are going to stay the same. We'll have security like we always do. There's really nothing that'll change besides the time that we'll have people in our building until.
Just so you're aware, we're actually trying to look at events that people come to the board for approval in person, and that can be handled administratively as opposed to in person. Sure. Unless you want to promote it. But, so down in the future, may not. Again, we have to compile that list and see.
Yeah.
Run it through town council to see, does this person have to come in front of us or can be approved administratively? So.
Okay, yeah, no
on
problem.
that. All right, let's see. Nick?
No questions.
Joe?
No, this, every year.
Mike?
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no questions. We do this every year, and I'm not a night owl, so I won't be participating in those hours, but it's always a great thing to get more time for people to see these big movies in the summer. So yeah, all for it.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Do you get a lot of people staying until 2 a.m.?
I mean, when we do it for like the big releases. So typically we do have like a decent amount of time, decent amount of attendance for those later shows. But even when we do it, typically it's for like the longer movies.
Right.
So like, what was it? Avatar we did it for over Christmas break. That's another like almost 3-hour long movie. So like the movie time is still starting at like at 10 p.m. to 10:30. It's just because it goes so long. But yeah, big movies like that, especially this year, attendance has been up. So we've been getting a lot of late night attendance.
Nice.
So.
My 16-year-old likes to go 10 o'clock show.
You'll never see me at a 10 o'clock show, that's for sure. All right,
I'll make a motion to extend the hours 2 a.m. July 17th through the 26th and July 31st to August 9th.
Second.
okay, moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 500.
Thank you. Good luck.
Good luck, James.
We'll see you at the movies.
Okay,
All right, Nicole Kidman, take it easy.
next is a public hearing, which I'll call the public hearing open, and I'll be looking for a motion to accept the advertisement as written.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, moved and second to accept the advertisement as written. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained. So we have to go through, let's see, is the proponent here? Sunflower Organic Pizza. Come on up and identify yourself for the board, please.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Chair and member of board.
You have to speak up a little bit.
My name is Vishal Jariwala. I'm a owner and opening a pizzeria, Sunflower Organic Pizza, doing business as Sunflower Pizza at One Wheeler Road, Burlington. Like we are family friendly focused pizzeria, and then beer wine is like a secondary, and we'll follow all the guidelines of the town and state requirement to serve responsibly alcohol with ID check, and all the guidelines will follow.
Okay, Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, the alcohol subcommittee did meet with them, and everything looked on the up and up. We talked about tip certification and all the requirements our town has, as well as hours of operation for liquor. So everything looked good. Just one question, while you're here and you have a captive audience, tell us a little bit about Sunflower Pizza. What differentiates you from another pizzeria? What are we looking at?
So we are gonna try to serve 2 or 3 different kind of pizza, like New York style, Neapolitan style, and in between it's called Neapolitan style. This looks so 2-3 different kind, and we are gonna use like mostly organic, USDA certified organic ingredients. Majority what I can source, that's flour, oil, tomatoes, some vegetables. And the meat focus on like a farm or local, non-GMO, no antibiotics. So like focus on a healthy ingredients.
Were they gluten-free ingredients? No?
We are gonna try to we are developing recipe for gluten-free, but our facility is not gluten-free, and it's gonna bake on the same conveyor belt oven. So there might be traces of gluten contamination from other pizza bake, but we are trying for strictly, if someone is allergic to gluten, I would not recommend to eat, but if someone is just prefer gluten-free, we can have pizza for them too.
Okay, well, sounds good, and I can't wait to try it, so best of luck. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Joseph.
The biggest thing is that we went through everything. It was great. It's only 20 seats. I mean, it's not a huge venue, but it's enough to keep him in business. I think it's going to be great. I think that everything me and Mike went over was wonderful. There's no reason not to do this.
Nick, formerly known as Mike Espejo.
No questions, thank you.
Sarah.
No questions. I just wish you the best of luck. It's really good to see new tenants in that One Wheeler Road plaza
Yeah.
there. So I'm always excited to see see new people going in there, and just wish you the best of luck.
My question was, are you the first restaurant to go in that building?
No, I think there's,
No, the Q Ramen is the first.
Oh, yeah. All right, so that's right. That's all. No, okay, everything's in order. Subcommittee's in favor of it, so therefore I'll be looking, oh, I have to close the public hearing. Is there anybody in the audience to speak on this item? Is there anybody online that wants to speak on this item, a public hearing for Sunflower Organic Pizza?
Seeing there being none, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 500 to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to approve beer and wine license for Sunflower Organic Pizza on One Wheeler Road.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 500. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you so much.
Come in.
Good luck.
Best here.
Okay, next item on the agenda is a grant of location, Stony Brook Road. It's also a public hearing, so I'll call the public hearing open and looking for a motion to approve the advertisement as written.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, 400 to accept the advertisement as written. Okay, proponent, Jackie?
I believe Jackie's online, Mr. She has her hand up. Patrick, she's on the right, third one down, all the way to the right there. I can't see her on mine, but
She's got her hand raised.
Yeah, I don't see
Yep.
her here, though. Oh, there she is. All right, we've sent Jackie a request to unmute, so she should be able to unmute herself now.
there you go.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, Jackie, can you identify yourself for the board?
Jacqueline Duffy, Eversource. We would like to install approximately 40 feet of conduit on Stony Brook Road to provide electric service to 34 Stony Brook Road.
Okay. Assuming that's a new residential house?
I'm sorry?
I'm assuming that's a new residential build over there?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right, Joe, anything?
No, it's pretty cut and dry, right across the whole board there.
Okay. Sarah?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Jackie, do you know when this work will happen?
I believe they want to do it as soon as possible.
And how long will it take?
It should only take, so for 40 feet, I'd say probably 2 days, weather permitting.
And is it work during the day?
Yes.
Just wondering how that impacts the road. There are a lot of single-family homes on that street, so I want to make sure people can get in and out.
Yes, we will make sure. They'll have a police detail.
Okay. Also, there were in the backup, I believe there are four houses listed. Are those direct abutters, and those people are going to be notified? Is that what that was?
Yes, they got notified for this hearing.
Okay, thank you. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Sarah. Mike?
No questions, Mr. Chair. Looks good.
Nick, any questions on this one?
No questions, sir. Thank you.
Okay, I have no questions either. Is there anybody in the public in this room that wants to speak about this item? Grant the location, Stony Brook Road. Anybody online that would like to speak about this item? Grant the location for Eversource, Stony Brook Road. I don't.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to...
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained? 500. Okay.
Make a,
Thank you, have a nice night.
Oh, no, we just closed the public hearing. That's all.
you're almost done. I'll make a motion to grant a location on Stony Brook Road
Second.
as written.
All right, moved and seconded to approve the grant location. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained? 500. Now you can go, Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie.
Sorry, jumped the gun. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Okay.
Have a good...
Okay, we have approvals. I have two new licenses. Another one for Wheeler Road, One Wheeler Road, Kyuramen. Are they present?
Ramen.
Come on up. I don't dare try to pronounce that in public.
Are you running?
Q Ramen. Just introduce.
Is it Q ramen?
Yep. Q Ramen. Okay.
See, I was saying it wrong.
All right, just identify yourselves for the board, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chi Ming Bing. I'm the principal of Q Ramen, located at 1 Wheeler Road, Unit E in Burlington. And joining me is Zhengjun Liu, principal and manager of Q Ramen. We submitted our application online last week for the common victualler license, and we are preparing to open within the next week. Our proposed business hours are Monday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And we appreciate your time and consideration of our application and look forward to serving the Burlington community. Yeah,
For the
let us
public,
know if you
explain-
have any questions.
Well, explain your restaurant so the public can hear what it's all about.
Q Ramen is a Japanese ramen restaurant concept inspired by traditional Japanese dining culture, offering authentic ramen, rice dishes, appetizers, and dessert in a modern and welcoming atmosphere. Also, in the restaurant, we have a small station. We're gonna offer smoothies and matcha gelato over there. Our goal is to provide the Burlington community with a unique dining experience, focus on quality food and excellent customer service.
Excellent. Nick?
No questions.
Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is this your first location, or do you have other locations elsewhere?
Yeah, we do have another location in Brookline and also this one in Winchester.
So this is this. Oh, so you have Brookline, Winchester. This will be third.
Yeah, this is the third one.
Okay. Well, no questions. Wish you luck. Thank you for coming.
Thanks very much.
Sarah.
Thank you.
No questions.
Nope.
This is the same one that's in Winchester Center? Is that what you said?
Winchester, second one.
Yeah, the second one.
This
Yeah,
one's
Brookline is the first one.
Really?
That's great. Yep.
Oh.
There a dozen times.
I'm glad to see newer restaurants come into town, especially ones that are growing, your third location. So, that being said, looking for a motion.
Motion to approve GL 26-31. How do you say?
Q Ramen.
Q Ramen, 1 Wheeler Road, Unit E.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? 500. Congratulations and good luck.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Welcome to Burlington. Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks.
Have a good night. Thanks.
You should have an audience more
I don't have
often.
to drive to Winchester anymore.
You're a big ramen?
I was gonna say, I wouldn't take you for a ramen guy.
Yeah, what do you take for a ramen guy?
Spaghetti.
Taking me for a lot of things.
I love ramen.
Okay, next one, waffles and bagels, 75 Middlesex Turnpike. Are you in the room? Are you online? If you're online, please raise your hand.
I don't see them online, Mr. Chairman. So Waffles and Bagel is the one that applied last week, had a grand opening coming up. It was administratively approved after speaking to the board. They had a soft opening last week, but there must have been a misunderstanding about whether they still needed to show up or not. What we've found with common vic licenses is people that have, to renew them, know about them. Folks that are new to town, and it happens mostly with restaurants, don't realize they need another license because they go through a special permit process with the planning board, they go through a building permit, they go through the Board of Health, and they believe they're done. So what we've done is that the Board of Health is going to add to their process, to their checklist, to a reminder of having to get a common vic license, because it's not for every business, it's for folks that prepare food are going to need a common victuals license. So we're hoping that that will help the delays that we sometimes see with folks that are opening, and we have to call them and say, hey, you don't have this license, or a situation like this one.
So we can still approve it without them here, correct?
You can, if you choose to, or we can ask them to come to the next meeting, but they're operating.
Does anybody have any?
Do you know when their scheduled opening was?
Their soft open was last week.
But the Wednesday grand open?
I think it happened immediately after.
Sarah, I'll go to you first on this. You have-
I'm fine. If they've already been through the special permit process, the process with Board of Health, they've submitted the application, it's complete. The only questions we'd ask would be like, so what are you serving? And like things like that. I think
That's important.
I'm going to guess waffles and bagels.
Waffles and bagels, clearly. But yeah, I'm fine with approving without them here.
All right. Well, Is that, I'll take that, is that a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the application GL-26.
Does anybody want to talk?
Sorry.
I'm sorry. No,
We're good.
I love waffles and bagels, so I'm good.
It's a
All right.
comment.
All right, now we'll
You
take
can
it.
vote it down if you want it. It's a motion. Make a motion to approve the general license GL-2632 for Waffles and Bagel at 75 Middlesex Turnpike.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? 500. Okay, next item, discussion, ice processing facility. Again, before we start with this, how many people plan on speaking in this room? Okay. Two. Do we have anybody online that would like to speak? Oh,
Three.
Three, all right, so we have three in the room.
Folks online could raise their hand, we would know how many we have.
All right. Alex, did you want to speak on this? All right, so
13. That's 4.
all Burlington residents?
They're all Burlington, yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right, so we'll do 3 minutes each. After we hear from Mr. Denizio and the board. Mr.
Thank you,
Denizio.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Lawler had put together some slides for us to do. I know presentations are sometimes weak when all you're doing is reading what's on the screen, but I think in this case, that's probably best for me to read the facts that are on the screen. I think the reason that this agenda item came to light was that there was some requests at the last meeting that, yes, some folks know about what's going on, what the town has been doing and has done over the last few months or last almost year now, but not everybody does, and it's been some time since we've had a formal update, if you will. So that's what led us to tonight. Patrick and I will do the slides together, but just to start, we wanted to talk about the safety and well-being of every person in the town of Burlington is of paramount importance. That's how we approach this complex situation down at 1000 District Ave and throughout the town and every department that's working on it. Tonight's update is intended to share some of the steps that the town has taken within our regulatory and legal framework and authority to address the collective concerns related to the operations of the ICE processing facility. And we certainly do appreciate the community's involvement and even those beyond the community. Just a little bit of history, everybody here in this room and online already knows. In June of 2025, following reports from detainees and visitors to the ICE facility at 1000 District Ave, included reports of the use inconsistent with the allowable use, and the town's response included some of the following below. The town originally requested access to the facility, conducted an inspection through the Department of Homeland Security, which was denied. Based on the denial, the town pursued a court order to gain access to the building. In order to support its position in the court order, the town obtained affidavit from a former detainee and a member of Congress who had visited the facility, which provided some details on the conditions within the facility. Using the affidavit, the town sought an administrative warrant through court order from Massachusetts District Court. The court ultimately denied the town's petition that would have granted the town access to conduct inspections of the facility to see if there was any code issues to enforce. That denial was based on some timeliness of the affidavits, is what we're told. That the town has continued to seek affidavits that would support the town's case in any further legal finding, any legal filing. Patrick and I are going to swap back and forth on the slides.
So the next several slides will outline the steps the town has taken over the last 12 months, and some of that activity has occurred within the last 2 months, but we thought it'd be helpful to walk members of the community through some of the things that we've done, and actually some of the people in this room have been part of these meetings, part of these connections we've made, so thank you for your participation in that as well. So there was a meeting with the town administration, police leadership, and the Attorney General's Office of Civil Rights regarding the concerns that the Attorney General's office had at the ICE facility. This was during a time, for some context here, where there was a little bit of a changing landscape for the enforcement of public safety at ICE facilities across the country. So one of the concerns that we were able to address with the Attorney General's office related to the local law enforcement of the peacekeeping there. Fortunately, there's been, and there continues to be, a great partnership between the protest groups and the police, and it has been a safe, and it has been a, a very good partnership between the police and the groups there. So peacekeeping and public safety at the facility, outside the facility, has not been an issue, or had not been an issue, unlike some places where there was a different landscape for law enforcement sent in. So that meeting was to resolve any concern that may have existed there. The next meeting was with town administration, elected officials, Congressman Moulton's office, and community stakeholders. This was in advance of the congressman's next visit to the ICE facility. So at this point, there were only scheduled visits allowed for members of the Congress for oversight. And at this meeting, the idea was to gather feedback from community stakeholders, gather feedback from the town to understand and sort of what to look for in the facility and things that had been observed by community stakeholders, but also from the town's perspective, what to look for in terms of potential violations or things that were seen previously at previous visits. Our next call, so one of the elements here is we establish a pretty regular relationship with the Attorney General's office on a number of fronts. Town council was in contact with the Attorney General's office almost every day, and on a pretty regular basis, town administration, police leadership met with the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights and their team for information sharing, for strategy on how the approach would be for public safety at the ICE facility. So we developed an important partnership with the Attorney General's office through those meetings. Continued meetings that took place over the last several months. The town administration leadership met with Congressman Moulton's staff right after their visit to the ICE facility in December. And at that point, we received a briefing that was outlined what the congressman later shared publicly in the next, in that day, on what was observed there and some of the outcomes that they were expecting from that visit. The next day, we met that same group, a little bit of a larger group, town administration, Congressman Moulton's office, local elected officials, community stakeholders, for what in part was a post-visit briefing. So the staff of the congressman briefed on what there was, some of the issues that they saw, what their visit, what they saw on their visit to the ICE facility. And then I think that this was a very long call, actually, a virtual call where many people were able to share their frustrations. Town officials were able to explain limitations at the local level. There was, I think, personal conversations shared that really, I think, helped connect town officials in a positive way with the community stakeholders and how we're connecting on this issue. And I know following this congressional visit, what the staff observed at that time, what the congressman observed at that time is there were no beds at the facility for folks to sleep on if they were there for an extended amount of time. And several days after this visit, 40 beds were delivered, and I think that it was the congressman's staff that helped expedite some of the issues that were involved in the procurement process at the federal level. So some of the recent efforts that bring us to, in the last couple of months is trying to obtain the affidavits from folks that have firsthand knowledge of what's happening inside that facility. And we have been unsuccessful with that. And I think that, one of the important elements of this related to feedback from the initial court order in June is that the affidavits need to be timely. So for perspective on that, the court, we filed with the district court on September 2nd, and the affidavits that were included in that filing were from June. And I think the legal feedback we got from the court's perspective was those affidavits were not timely, or so there was concern that they were not accurate for what was happening at that time, or they were not timely for that, firsthand accounts. So that was the feedback we received there, based on how the affidavits need to be. So we are frequently reaching out to people that have been in the facility that may know of its condition and may know of whether or not the use or there's conditions that are not in concert with local regulations.
And so some of the responses to common questions and feedback that probably a lot of folks in this room and online have heard from us. So we've gotten through various channels from emails, from posts to our website, to calls to us, to emails to you all, many different requests from folks about shutting down the ICE facility. The town doesn't have the legal authority to just shut down the ICE facility for zoning reasons, but what the town can do is enforce building code. But we need to get in the building to enforce the building code. The town has not been granted access to enter the building for an inspection without a court order or without those affidavits that Patrick was talking about attesting to the condition that appeal to the court. The town will not be permitted to enter the building. So, what next? We can continue to maintain a safe and peaceful environment for all the individuals exercising their First Amendment rights, and continue to have that great partnership with the groups down there in the police department here. And our attorneys are in a regular connection with the AG's office, with certain groups, about trying to obtain affidavits of firsthand accounts of the facilities, whether those be from federal elected officials that are able to tour the facility or folks that stayed in the facility, just on the conditions and the activities occurring inside of the facility. And we want to maintain communications with the state and federal officials in order to share the information and coordinate strategies. So we have been encouraged by some, I think someone even said it earlier, that there seems to be less reports of overcrowding. We certainly hear less of that. Seems to be shorter stays, and as of recently, we haven't heard about too many folks that have stayed for multiple days, but we'll continue to reach out to folks that have, or our legal team will continue to try to obtain those affidavits. So that's sort of just kind of a summary of all the different things that have been going on. Like I said at the beginning, I think a lot of people probably already knew of it. It's not new information, but as was pointed out by the board, we haven't done it in a public setting in quite some time. So it's an opportunity for us to talk about it and then hear some feedback.
Sarah?
You want Mike go first, actually?
No, I'll let
Defer to Mike.
Mike.
Okay. I have a lot of remarks on this, and I want to preface my remarks by saying what I'm about to say, these are my remarks alone. They are me speaking, and I do not speak for the board with any of the words I'm about to say. I don't know if a lot of you have been watching the World Cup, and it's been amazing, and it's shown us that our lives are only enriched by different cultures, walks of life, and people. The confluence of all these different backgrounds into a melting pot is what makes and has made America so great. It's what's made us the greatest nation in the world. And I believe in legal immigration. My parents immigrated from the Philippines and waited in Canada until they were allowed to enter the country. And I also believe in fair and ethical treatment of everyone that not only enters Burlington, but enters America at large. And what I want to address tonight is why we never had an update like this when I was chair from April 25 to April 26. It's a question I've been asked a lot, and I was asked for one a lot. and I'll explain my reasoning for everyone. I'm an eternal optimist, and I was truly hoping we could facilitate some type of meaningful action or change from our seats here on the Select Board. But be clear, the action I wasn't looking for was any change in our immigration policy or our views on immigration. That stuff is way above our pay grade and out of our jurisdiction. In 2007, DHS promised the town meeting that this facility was not going to be used as an overnight detention center, and we were sold on a bill of goods that was supposed to be just a processing facility. And the Select Board only became involved when we heard accounts of people being held there overnight and a bevy of other unsatisfactory conditions and situations. I've spoken to countless people, attorneys, congressional offices and officials, town council, officials from other cities, towns, and states, and many of our residents about the situation. And speaking of that, I want to give a quick shout out to congressional candidate Dan Coe for his assistance in making some of those connections. His help is greatly appreciated. In the end, the meaningful change I was hoping to accomplish as chair on the board, it never came. The report I wanted to give you all and the good news I wanted to share with you all just never came. The affidavit I've been hoping for and hoping for us to get, it never came. Despite all of my scratching, clawing, calling, emailing, texting, we just never got it. Being this chair this particular year, it was very tough and difficult for me. And it took a lot of wind out of my sails on what we do here. And as thorough as I was, in the end, I really didn't feel like I did a good job as chair on the town here because of this. And I questioned for a long time if I should even continue on the board. In hindsight, maybe I should have called for a meeting, an update for everyone to say nothing yet. We're working on it. I don't know. But we're in a tough spot. We represent all views, all people in the town. To one group, I'm getting Mike, you're not doing enough. What are you guys doing? Look what's going on. How can you allow this in our town? To another group, this is not your job. This is not your jurisdiction. Back off. What are you doing? Focus on other things. So it was a no-win situation for us. Either way, it was a long, hard lesson to learn that even as Select Board Chair, you can't do everything, and sometimes things are out of control. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Nick?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that everybody here obviously understands the ramifications from either a human rights perspective or an immigration policy perspective. Tonight, I'd actually like to take a minute to speak about government accountability. Our nation was built upon a system of divided powers. Sorry?
Louder.
How am I always so quiet? Our nation was built upon a system of divided powers. Authority is intentionally shared between the federal government, the states, and local government because concentrated power exercised without oversight is contrary to the principles of a free society. The concern before us is simple. When a facility operates within Burlington's borders, yet local officials cannot inspect it, local health and safety authorities cannot verify conditions, and the federal government can unilaterally declare itself beyond meaningful local review, we have a problem that extends beyond this single building. This isn't a question of whether federal law is supreme. Rather, the question is whether federal authority should be exercised without transparency, without accountability, and without respect for the communities in which it operates. Burlington has a right to know what activities are occurring within its borders. Our residents have a right to expect that buildings are safe, laws are followed, and government remains answerable to the people. When this facility came to us in 2007, it was not intended to serve in the capacity it serves today. And despite the judge's refusal, I have seen the affidavits and questioned the conditions that some people may have been held in. If we are not allowed to serve our function in the capacity granted to us as a local municipality, if federal agencies can occupy local communities while denying access, denying inspection, and denying transparency, we no longer have oversight. No government, local, state, or federal, should be exempt from scrutiny. This is about maintaining the checks and balances that make good governance possible. Even when power is rightly exercised, accountability ensures it's exercised well. Accountability is not an obstacle to good government, it is the foundation of it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Nick. Joe? Sarah?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a whole statement prepared. I'll try to go through it a little bit, but I think a lot of it was already covered from Mike and Nick. But just so everybody knows, I did request this to be put on the agenda. I've been asked by many people in town for an update. And while, things are known behind the scenes, and a lot of this work that is done is legal in nature and is taking place behind the scenes. I felt like a public update was warranted. This has been a topic of concern and conversation in Burlington for more than a year, we're repeatedly being asked, what are we doing? What authority do we have? What authority do we not have? And how are we responding to these concerns? And it's a very difficult topic. It involves deeply held views on all sides and complicated legal questions around the level of our authority over a federal facility. I wanted this update not to be a debate on federal immigration policy, but more just providing transparency regarding the actions that the town has taken and within the scope of our responsibilities. The one point of feedback I would give to the update from the administration, and this is something that I should have provided earlier, was that there were no real dates or months in the listing of what has taken place. And I can tell you, I've received a much more detailed explanation of all the actions that were taken, and there were multiple meetings within multiple months since September town meeting in October, November, December, March, April. So these aren't just sort of one-off conversations. These were continuous calls and meetings that were had over a long period. So like we all know, concerns on this facility and this building are not new. During the original local review process it went through planning board, it went through town meeting, and went through various subcommittees, and residents raised questions all along the way about the nature of the facility and how it would operate, and we were given assurances at the time regarding the short-term nature of detention at the site, meaning no detention longer than 24 hours or so. So for many years, it seemed to be operating fine without any concern from public regarding that facility, and we all know that changed last year as new reports and allegations emerged. And when concerns are raised involving safety, zoning, occupancy, or the humane treatment of individuals within our community, I believe the town has a responsibility to review those concerns carefully and appropriately within the bounds of the law. I also just want folks to understand that the town has not ignored the concerns that have been brought up or simply resigned or concluded that nothing could be done because it's a federal facility. Like I said, a lot of the work has been behind the scenes. A lot of it's been legal in nature, communication with relevant agencies, and just a constant evaluation of what authority the town may or may not have under state and federal law. So I just want to close with especially thanking Mike Espejo, our former chair, for his leadership on this issue. He really took the reins on this. I think he explained it very well. When anybody in the media reached out, he was on top of it. He called them right back. He was constantly in discussions with various groups and leaders and trying to find a solution, and he really put in a lot of the work. So I want to thank our chair for that. Also want to thank our town council, our staff, and our police department for their constant professionalism throughout this challenging situation. And I want to acknowledge residents in Burlington and those outside of Burlington who have continued to engage respectfully, whether advocating for immigrants, supporting public safety personnel, or asking the town to remain transparent throughout this process. So thank you all for being here and for listening. Our goal tonight is to provide a factual update on the actions taken by the town over the past year and the legal framework in which those actions have occurred. So thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just kind of summarize what everybody's already said, but I do want to, just because I'm the chairman, I want you to know that it was Sarah that made sure this came to an agenda item, all right? She did all the work, so she deserves all this credit, not just because I'm chairman. She deserves the credit. I just hope what you've heard tonight conveys the efforts the town has made, the efforts the town has made legally, what it can do legally, and we will continue to do that. As Mr. Denizio said, we will continue, our legal team will continue to reach out to accomplish a recent affidavit or whatever, but I hope you realize your understanding is that we're doing what we can. as a town of Burlington. Unfortunately, this building is in the town of Burlington, so it lies on us. And again, to reflect on what Sarah said, thank you to all the protesters, I don't want to use protesters, the people exercising their First Amendment rights, all right? Thank you for your cooperation. We heard at our recent town meeting how well the cooperation between the people down there and the police were. Again, I don't want to use that term, but thank you for that, because it just seems to be, I don't even know how to word it, but it just seems to be a thing that works, where the police haven't had really big issues down there. It's, they work together. So I really don't know what else to say. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
One thing I forgot to mention, I wanted to give my sincere thanks to Burlington Police for all the work that they've been doing over there. They've been very fair, very reasonable. I'm the liaison to the police department, and I meet with Chief Brown. We try and do it every month, and most of the time we're talking about this. So I just like to extend my thanks to the men and women of our police department. I think they've done a fine job under tough circumstances, and I think the only thing we all agree on is we wish it was somewhere else. But thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Can I make one more point?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just one more quick point, and I think it was portrayed by the administration's update, but the thing that we need to get into that building to do what is our responsibility, to do a building inspection, are sworn statements by people who have had direct eyes within that facility and have seen what's going on in the form of affidavits to bring to the courts in a timely manner. We've had, and I'll just say, there have been people who have said that they would provide these and then change their mind. And I cannot blame them for that, but that is a hurdle that we're facing. So I won't speculate as to why they've changed their mind, but I think we can all get into that mindset as to why they might not want to speak out in that way. So that is just, that's just the hurdles, one of the many hurdles that we're facing in this issue. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Phyllis, I think your hand was up. You want to come up? Identify yourself, sign the paper. We'll keep the running clock, and I'll give you a 30-second heads up. My phone is on silent.
Not going to need that much time.
All right. My phone is on silent, but it's still beeping, so I don't know why it's doing that. It's got a mind of its own.
Good evening. My name is Phyllis Neufeld. I live at 3 Meadowvale Road, where I've been for the last 30 years, and I am a town meeting member from Precinct 5. And thank you to Sarah for bringing this forward. Back in October of 2025, I authored the resolution condemning the inhumane treatment at the ICE facility and the blatant disregard for our general bylaws and our zoning bylaws, even though we had a written letter stating ICE would adhere to those bylaws. This resolution passed on October 6, 2025, and went from being my resolution to our town's resolution. Burlington as a town was finally on record that what goes on in that building does not reflect the values of our town. I appreciate your comments tonight, informing residents what you've done to try to fight back against the ICE infractions and for the safety of our residents. In fact, I would appreciate your doing so every 3 months at a select board meeting to keep us up to date and to be transparent. My second suggestion is either to form a subcommittee or continue the subcommittees that you already have by adding some residents from town and whoever you believe would be helpful to start meeting on a continual basis to look for solutions to the blatant disregard of our town's bylaws. With the lease for the ICE building coming up for renewal in 2028, the town needs to look at all possibilities to bring ICE into compliance with our bylaws and ICE's promises to the town back in 2007. I'd be happy to serve on such a subcommittee. Immigrants are scared. The number of immigrant school-aged children who have left our public schools is staggering. Immigrants make our town stronger, and we need to support them by doing everything in our power to right these wrongs. Thank you.
Thank you, Phyllis. Who is next? Reverend.
Hello, everyone. It's good to see you. I'm Reverend Andrew Harris. I'm a Burlington resident. I'm the minister at the United Church of Christ Congregational on Lexington Street. And I wanted to talk a little bit just about the very term detention center, which I think is part of this administration's sanitizing of what happens in that place. This is not the kind of place that you go when you cut class or if you cheat on your homework. It's really part of a larger system of immigration camps because it operates on the carceral confinement and control of people deemed unwanted or quote unquote out of place. These camps in Burlington is just one part of a huge system of camps, strip people of legal personhood, or at least diminish their legal personhood. They take away people's access to their legal rights, immobilize people, confine people, and reinforce a category of exclusion. These are places that are designed to disappear people politically, and all too often that's just before they're disappeared actually or physically to far off places. And I think one key point of this camp infrastructure, as we look at Burlington, and we've heard reports that there are now people not staying overnight. They're moving people out faster. If that is true, though I would request proof that that is in fact the case, which can only come through inspections. That doesn't make me feel any better, because that means they're abducting people off the streets in Vermont or Maine. They're bringing them to Burlington for processing. They're sending them out to the Plymouth County Correctional Facility or to Hanscom Air Force Base, and they're sending them off to some of these far-off camps that we've seen and heard on the news where there's horrible treatment of people. And one key point of this camp infrastructure, of which Burlington is a part, is that it all really depends on local infrastructure. It depends on transportation, it depends on health and safety and building and fire inspections, it depends on our airports and police and the Plymouth County Sheriff cooperating every step of the way. And so there are multiple local, city, municipal, county, and state pieces that can affect change within this huge camp system. And I would ask that you keep working towards that end, and I thank you for the work you've done so far. And the last thing I want to stress is that what happens here in this camp is not isolated to the walls of that building, but that it seeps out into our community. And the cruelty and the inhumanity
30 seconds.
Our neighbors suffer in that building is a part of the thing that we carry in Burlington on our souls. And I think all of us have to do everything that we can to try to live into our call to compassion and love and justice here in Burlington. And finally, I would say maybe one thing we can do is not allow the federal government to renew the lease when it expires within the next 2 years. The end. Thank you, everybody.
Who is next? Alex?
Hi, my name is Alex. I live in Pine Glen, and it's been a year now that I've been coming to speak at Select Board. And what I've brought here is a photo, the only known photo from inside the facility that's now a year old. And we've seen an ebb and a flow and all sorts of things over at that facility. We've seen overcrowding, we've seen long stays, we've seen shorter stays, we've seen less crowding. One thing that's remained consistent is that Mike Espejo replies to every single email. And that's really what I'd like to discuss tonight, is to talk about how fantastic this select board has been. Because I cannot imagine how different my life would have been over the last year if you'd been antagonistic or even apathetic. And that's not what I found at all. Mike, you've been incredibly caring and kind and generous and transparent. And my goodness, you have replied to my emails at 10:30 at night. You have just been above and beyond, and I know you have done so much work behind the scenes. And I don't even think I know about a fraction of it. So I am really glad that we're here tonight to discuss what you've done and what your accomplishments have been. because I know that you don't see it as, we've gotten this cleared away, we've gotten this fixed, but that doesn't mean that you have not put in a lot of work, and you now have a lot of networks. You now have a lot of contacts with officials, with Congress, all over the community. It's actually really been impressive, and I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge that, because I'm glad that you've done that. I think that Burlington is lucky to have you. I think we're lucky to have this entire board. So, thank you. Thank you for what you've done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Was there a fourth person that wanted, Martha?
Hello, I'm Martha Simon. I live on Willow Way. I'm a town meeting member from Precinct 3 and a former school committee member and a former teacher and a parent. I didn't plan to speak tonight, but I want to thank you for having this discussion, for sharing the information with the town of how the efforts that the town has made to hold this facility and the ICE office accountable. I want to speak because I wanted to share my outrage at the inhumane conditions and cruelty that we've heard about in the facility, and also for the lack of due process in our country, which is supposed to be founded on due process. And I also want to commend all the people who've been holding vigil at the ICE facility for now over a year, their commitment to First Amendment speech, of course, but also of due process and for humane treatment of all people who live in this country, whether they're American citizens, whether they're immigrants, whatever reason they are here, they deserve to be treated humanely. And I want to commend the police department for their keeping things civil, and I hope that will continue. I think that's important because the protesters, which I will call them protesters, are definitely staying within the legal commitments. So I want to thank you and express my deep, deep outrage at what's going on in that building. Thank you.
Thank you, Martha. Is there anybody else in the room? Oh, ma'am.
Hi, good evening. I wasn't planning to speak.
You just have to identify yourself first. That's
Sorry. I'm Cecilia Mercado, and I live in the Arborwood condominiums. I'm also from the Philippines. Hi, Mike. Magandang gabi. I feel like it's important for another immigrant to speak about this. You've just seen a lot of business people who are immigrants, a lot of immigrants in town, and I've lived here for decades. And it just breaks my heart for this to be going on in our town. And just, I mean, I'm so grateful for what you're all doing. I know your hands are tied by this federal government. And I just don't understand, I guess the 40 beds, that room is not enough. It's small, because I've accompanied people who've been released there and helped them to get home. And some of them are like, they're topping each other. So I cannot imagine 40 beds in that room, but I guess, what do I know? I haven't seen it. So what you need for an affidavit is from a very vulnerable person, the one that has been targeted by ICE. You're wondering why they changed their mind? Because they're targeted by ICE. They can be deported and separated from their families and children. So I feel like it's very important for the select board to make a public statement, even if there's not much, you don't feel there's not much has been done, because I know your hands are tied, but I feel like it's important for the immigrants in this community to know that we are welcome here, and to hear that from you guys is very important. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else in this room? Sherry?
Thank you. Sherry Ellis, 3 Hickory Lane, former town meeting member, and I also did not plan to speak. I want to piggyback on a couple of things that people said. Board of Selectmen, as far as things you could do, things are beyond your control, but the public statements that someone mentioned that you could do, all the statements, or all the statements that you had up on the screen of all the things you've done on the website. People can see that. Make a statement. The town meeting resolution that was done that theoretically, I guess you guys adopted as the town, if that could be more transparency from you guys as far as all people are welcome here in Burlington, that would be great. Another thing, as far as I think Reverend Harris said, the lease is due up in 2028. Working towards that. If this were not a public facility and the building was not in compliance, sorry, nervous, I haven't spoken in a long time. If this was not a federal building and the building was not in compliance with our zoning bylaws, there would be fines. They would come before, or the building department could issue fines for not being in compliance. Can the select board in charge of the building department start documenting any fines that, or issue fines? Will they be paid? No, the federal government's not going to pay the fines. But if you're making statements that things are not in compliance with our bylaws, we're not able to do that. If these statements can be made public and being seen out there going forward, then perhaps the landlord that is there and knows that the building's not in compliance may not renew the lease. So a couple of thoughts and suggestions that you guys could do. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. We have time for one more speaker. Is there one more speaker? Okay, this will be the last speaker.
Good evening. I'm new to Burlington. I've only lived here for the last 8 years. I've never been involved in town politics whatsoever. My background is 50 years as a lawyer in Massachusetts. And honestly, I don't know where you're getting your legal advice, but if you were my client and had the political will, I would suggest that you try petition for discovery, which is a statutory device for obtaining testimony and compelling it in a civil matter. It seems to me that if you saw somebody committing a crime, the police would have no problem issuing a summons. This is the civil equivalent of a summons. I'm just thinking like a bad man for a minute. This is not about my politics. This is about getting the job done. Transparency is exactly what this needs. As Reverend Harris said, you've got a network of camps throughout America and probably abroad too. These black sites where they take people and they disappear. There is too much, our just ducking out of it isn't going to solve very much, except I personally would feel really guilty if all Burlington did was cancel the lease. Boy, talk about chicken.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to be moving on to the next item on the agenda. Update on municipal aggregation. I know there's nothing on this, John, but do you want to give a brief summary?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're in a holding pattern. Checked in with Sam last weekend and again today. Consultants are still optimistic that we can get a better number coming up. Some of the things that...
Phyllis, is that your jacket?
Yes.
Maybe some of the recent activities overseas may prove to help with the, we've already seen corrections or decreases in the cost of oil. So hopefully that will work its way down and translate to us. The trick is that we still only have 4 weeks left before we need to finalize a deal in time for us to be able to notify our current vendor. So, that's a long way of saying no real update.
Okay. All right. Next item, minutes. Does anybody need to abstain from any of the minutes that were Lynn sent out? Because I know sometimes we're not all here. All right. That being said,
I'm going to make a motion to approve the minutes from 11/17/25 all the way through as written to 4/27/26. Well, we have to do them individually.
no, that's because they're on the agenda.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain? Okay, that's approved. Let's see. We have subcommittee reports. Nick, start with you.
Oh, geez, Jim. Actually, the only thing I'm going to talk about tonight is the parade. Well, the July parade is being held on July 4th, which is Saturday this year. So a week, right? Isn't it? Like it's 2 weeks? I'm losing track of time. 2 weeks is good because we're still planning stuff. We have a lot going on. Starts at 11 a.m., runs from the Presbyterian Church on 3A down to the Legion this year. We're not going to be pushing it all the way to the schools, which I know, is only a couple hundred yards, but we've asked participants who are able and willing to head up Center Street and join the Burlington Buses Picnic on the Common. It'll be their second annual, which the parade is working in conjunction with Nikki Cadillac and the Buzz to make all this happen. We have a lot of stuff going on with the parade. We hope everyone can make it. We hope it's good weather. We will also be doing later in the year commemorative pins and commemorative coins. And we will be doing most likely a fundraiser for those to help support the parade in the future, as we really are trying to double down efforts and bring it back. People have reached out and volunteered their time, which has been fantastic. So look forward to seeing everyone there. Look forward to walking the parade again this year. Looking for a great day.
Can I ask a question about that? So in our discussion about committees and getting more people to volunteer, and I know that's always an issue for this particular committee, and I know they're not technically a town-sponsored committee, but there was discussion at town meeting about making it one. Has there been any further talk about that? Maybe we can add it to the list. People can.
Yeah, there hasn't been any further talk. I need to sit down with the moderator to discuss if town meeting is willing to take on a subcommittee in that fashion and how that would work. So the parade committee is technically a nonprofit, and so we could have a committee a subcommittee of town meeting that supports the nonprofit in terms of like volunteerism and ground roots discovery in that way. And then we're also going to be trying to get out more physically. So we're going to have a table at Celebrate Burlington, and we'll be hopefully soliciting volunteers there as well, and just trying to get out throughout the year and just have more presence.
That's it. Mike?
Nothing except to give a shout out to Bernie Chipoletti on Cops and Cars. It was a nice event on the Common on Saturday, and there was a big crowd there. I didn't make it over, but I drove by a couple times in between graduation parties and saw that he had a great crowd, so just wanted to give him a shout out and job well done as usual. Thank you, Chair.
Sarah?
Just one thing, this Wednesday, June 24th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at Grandview Farm is a public forum and discussion on the Eversource substation project. So, they've had public forums previously, but I feel like this one is more known now. We had them come in front of our meeting They'll be going in front of planning board. People are starting to, ask questions and wonder about this substation. So I encourage anybody who is available on this Wednesday, June 24th, 6 o'clock, to go find out more about the Eversource substation that's being proposed for the Wynn Street area. That's all. Thank you.
Joseph?
I'm just going to go a little bit further, with a little bit, a step further with my car show. So there was 220 cars on the corner. There was 225 hamburgers sold, there was 125 hot dogs sold, there was 130 T-shirts sold. And all that money goes to people helping people. The people that were there did a great job. I'd like to thank Matt and Adam for helping me with the cooking. So that was great. We sold everything. And actually, no one yelled at us for the food this year. Everyone said it was good.
Why are they yelling at you?
Because I cook it.
Oh, okay.
So they like this
Makes
is
sense.
raw, this is raw.
People like to yell,
Okay.
people like to yell at Joe for any reason they can.
So but everything went great that day. The cleanup was good. The calm was left spotless. That was what I can't thank Bernie enough for the money he donates. All that money goes directly to people helping people. So it was good.
One more, Jim.
Mike, you got more?
Yeah. You also?
Yep.
I forgot to mention, last week I went to the meeting at 61 Center for the Government Review Committee, and they put on a nice presentation. Nick was there on their efforts to date, and they had a good filled room and a lot of feedback, and I just wanted to thank them for all of their efforts, and I knew it was a lot of work, but sitting through that meeting, I realized it's a lot of work. So kudos to them and thank you to them for all the work the Government Review Committee is doing. That's a huge undertaking, and I think that they're going to come back with some great results and great information. And I really look forward to their report and seeing what they have to say about our town government. So I forgot to mention that. But
One item I have is from the Fire Department Union, Local 2313. Very interesting, it's something new this year, that last day of school, June 24th, from 2 to 5 p.m., in conjunction with Alex's Ice Cream, fire apparatus will be driving around town, handing out free ice cream to school-aged children.
Fire truck?
Fire truck, fire apparatus, and
the ice cream truck. Yeah.
the ice cream truck. Yeah, they're going to be driving around town, handing out, Joe, what do you want one?
Well, I'm trying to figure how I can figure this out.
So they will be...
borrow one of my kids? School-age children.
Yeah, is there an age requirement? Will
It
they
says
be, will they be
school-aged
carding?
children. It's a school-aged
Come over, borrow
children.
one of my kids, it's fine.
I go to school every day.
No, he's going to keep the kid, though. But, so...
Maybe
that's-
age, not maturity level.
This is the first time they've done this, and I think it's an awesome idea. I hope they
awesome.
do it every year.
So cool.
So listen for the fire trucks, look for the fire trucks, and the Alex's Ice Cream. Again, I don't know the route, it just says they're going to be driving around town, so.
Kids should wait patiently wherever they are.
Mr. Denizio.
Nothing for this meeting, sir. We do come into the summer season, so we're only going to have one meeting a month, so the agendas might be a little bit longer, but that's it.
Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
moved and seconded, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained? We're adjourned.